hello guys, welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. And yes, I am your host, Ionede Joshua Ayodeji. Many people knows me as Icon J. Well, as you all know, I'm not always the only one doing this on this particular set. I always have my guys with me. Well, I have my guy with me, and today is going to be one of my guys. First, Alex is in the studio, guys.
Hello, Prince Alex. I'm fine. I'm doing well.
We should do well before. I thought, what?
I'm doing well. Joshua, don't go more than your boundaries.
I should not go more than my boundaries today. Good. Okay, so that I should not go more than my boundaries actually. But guys, I also have someone in the studio with us today. He's a twin, just like Alex. Okay, many of you don't know Alex is a twin actually. But he's also a twin actually. And he's going to be our analyst today because we'll be discussing something that is kind of thought-provoking today. So, but ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our guest first. We have Kende Oyeleye in the studio. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very good, very good. It's really an honor for me to be here. But apart from Kende, now you can still call me Al Khalifa.
Al Khalifa.
Not Al.
Al
Khalifa.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking of Khalifa already. Like,
Yeah, Wiz Khalifa.
Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, people say that a lot, but I'm Al Khalifa.
Al Khalifa. Hope you don't do the Wiz Khalifa way.
No, I'm just me. My own way. Yeah.
How did you come about that name anyways?
2013, I think it was my campus experience. Yeah. So we had a bit of that I was talking about the fact that I was a church boy.
Okay.
Then, so it was more about this church activities, evangelism, stuff. So we had a bit of a challenge there. So it started on a very bad note where you are even ridiculed. Right? So like we have to mobilize certain people to come. Alright, so we have different hostels. So a particular hostel bears their name. So instead of you to give reports every day and say, oh, Joshua, give us a report of this hostel. So you just mention the name of that hostel and say, so for instance, you say Joshua hostel, even though you are not Joshua. So you say Joshua hostel, you know you are the one that you are manning that hostel. So you are just give a report. So just say Akaliba. So for like 4 weeks, I was not able to bring anybody. You know, I keep going there, keep doing many evangelism attempts. But I could not get anybody. So for every day we give reports. Imagine, oh, Khalifa was there. Khalifa. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day
Stop.
So you reach one point, they say, guy, it's like, I'm not praying enough. I'm not praying.
Nigerians.
So we had that kind of thing. So I think the 4th week, that's when I was able to now bring 5 people down to it. So the following day, they're like, okay, let's give a report again. So when they saw that, oh, well, fine, they just shouted down and say, you know. So, but when I got back to campus, I had to take tutorials. I'm a lover of philosophy. I love philosophy.
Oh, wow, great.
Yeah, so I had to take free tutorials for students. So, and they just asked me, I should write my name and my phone number on the board. I said, okay, what should I use? If I use Candy, there are too many Candies.
Yeah,
so I just signed a Khalifa on the board. And that became my
nickname.
Yeah, so it just became even for my organization too, I had to put that name in the midst of that organization.
Sometimes you don't know the name that becomes your brand.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in this country, wise up and very attentive.
Exactly.
What nickname will I give to this guy now? Which is just Prince Alex.
Prince
No.
Alex.
Yeah, Prince Alex.
Prince Alex. Well, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, Prince Alex. But then let's focus on what we actually came here to do today. As we all know, this country, as we speak, when they say it choke, yeah, I think
It choke.
Across board, yeah.
Across board, everybody knows that. And we have a lot of economic challenges and hardships in Nigeria. And, you know, I've been thinking about it. Government have been trying a lot of things. They've been doing this, they did that. You know, there was a time they talked about restructuring, maybe it's going to help us. Another time they talk about maybe the federal system. Okay, let's give local government autonomy. They began to talk about increasing the interest rates in the CBN.
Yeah.
They began to talk about trying to go for price control, or maybe we should lock. You know, Buhari started with locking borders at the time.
Yeah.
He locked the borders totally, thinking that people from production we are going to have, you know, plenty.
Yeah.
But then it's the purpose of it was actually defeated. Another time we had Buhari doing a lot of things, just a lot of stuff with Emefiele and all that. There was a time that we had cashless. That's why we had the Let Me Win, right?
Yes.
And all that. Then Tinubu is on board today. Everybody said Tinubu is going to be the most intelligent personality in this polity with lots of moves. You know, we saw Wale become Minister of Finance.
Yeah.
We saw Yemi Cardozo. These are powerful guys in that industry become, you know, the CBN governor. But still, the inflation rate is very high. As we speak, it's very hard for people to feed and all those kind of things. So we are looking at it. What can you say currently about the economic hardships in Nigeria and the many policies that has been placed?
I think it's visible to the blind, it's audible to the deaf that where we stand as a country too is very, very unfortunate. And also it's a challenging time, because whether we talk about price, because we don't even have a price control system.
Right.
All right. So the way prices just go. All right. So there's no control mechanism. So people can decide the way to go for price. And so we are at the mercy of each other. And let me also say that even we ourselves are not even helping ourselves too, because everybody is looking for one way or the other to even exploit the other person. So we run that kind of exploitative economy, all right, so that the reason why I'm going to increase this price now is because I need to get something that the price has also gone up. So for me to get that one, let me increase my own too, so that I can meet up that same demand. All right, so and that's where the bulk of the old challenge now falls on the workforce. Now the workforce where your salary is not even increasing. Alright, so the demand has increased. Inflation has jacked up, the transport has dragged up, cost of accommodation has jacked up, but your money is still same amount. So when you juxtapose, if you look at when they try to juxtapose the inflation rate plus the dollar rate, then the salary they're earning, you realize that even with the 30,000 minimum wage, you are still earning lower than the 18,000.
Yeah, that is if it's compared to
based on the dollar rate. So you realize that you are even you are still earning lower. Alright, so to let you know that the state of our economy, I must say, is
very bad.
Is very bad. It's very, very bad. And when you said earlier that they said Tinubu will likely be a game changer.
Yeah.
Actually, those who voted for him, alright, believe strongly that he is the best candidate that could steer the ship of state, alright, to where we really want to. But I must also say that to govern a state, alright, it's still quite different from governing a country. 36 states with different kind of ethnic groups, different kind of philosophy and ideology, different kind of people with different vested interests, different parastatals, different ministries, different agencies, in which they are all not angels, but they are also people who have vested interests in certain. So if you look at the issue of Dangote refinery, for instance, Dangote is at the mercy to say government need to do everything possible to make that thing work. If not, that $19 billion investment is going to crash. They go to crash. Wow. To let you know that there are certain people who are benefiting from the system, even though they're on the other side of it. So we have the issue of they say, okay, government will block the loopholes, the bunkering and all those things. You must know that also at the other end of it, there are certain people that are benefiting from things. Yeah. So for some of us that like all these American films that speak about all these militant, you see that there are films that are talking about the militancy, the kind of drug trafficking, human trafficking. You realize that, especially for Indian films, if you love Indian films, you realize that, so I'm a big fan of it. So there's always a marshal, somebody that's heading this particular cabal. The person is not in government necessarily, but the person also still has root and influence. So the government also would one time will need to begin to meet with those people, dialogue with them to see. And that's the same case that we are also facing
in Nigeria
in this country too. So when you say okay, they should see the border, Buhari did it. Buhari's intention was good.
Very good.
Very good. So that local content, local
production will be encouraged.
But because you should know that certain people know that our money comes from importation. So they will not sit and fold their hands and say, oh, I want to help Nigeria, Nigeria should, to be better. No, it's not everybody that want this country to be better. Definitely. Let us be clear. That's not everybody. Even the people that are saying to you, I have a dream. I want Nigeria to be better. No, the good intentions don't even make good leaders.
No, I hear that one. I hear that one. Don't leave me.
You already had good intention. But you saw what happened.
Definitely.
So, good intentions don't make good leaders. And number two is that even auditory too, that you can even talk to, does not even make you a good leader.
William Ruto can be really.
You get it. You get it. So, he exact many things. So, now, they have even increased the money to be paid to the senators, even amidst the chaos.
Wow.
So, the question is that what they were fighting for was not okay. So, let's go back to Nigeria now. So, the economy, even if we look at housing, look at but we know very well that Nigerians like to cast aspersions at the federal government. Everybody focus on
the federal government as the biggest problem.
FG, Tinubu. That even those that maybe could not even give birth, and something happened in the hospital that they lost the child. or somebody lost somebody in the hospital because of one particular doctor negligence, everybody just look at it is Tinubu's fault. Even the one that is not Tinubu's problem, they just the insecurity in the southeast, they say it's Tinubu. Alright? They say it's Tinubu that is mentioned that instability continues. The security challenge is continuing.
The same insecurity is happening in the north.
It's happening in the north. So we want to blame the federal government for security. But we also know that at the other back end, we know that the CSO is the governor of that particular state.
Yeah, definitely.
Is the chief security officer. So, but when it comes to, security issues, which sometimes will bend to the federal government to say, let us blame the federal government. On the other side, will say, let us hold our governors accountable. But the question then is, how many times do you even see people even hold their governors accountable? Let me even say, the economic challenge that we are facing now is really high because many of the governors, or let me say all governors, no, let me say all, most of our governors, all right, do not have initiative to even drive. So to let you know that we vote based on emotions and sentiments. We don't really vote because we feel that this person can even solve the problem.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to mention my own state, but I must say that
I don't want to mention my state, but my ex-governor is on the ground.
You dare not mention your state.
I hope it's not cooking. Alright, so let you know that another when somebody is trying to debate with me on good governance, I'm always very careful to ask for your state. I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But that meant
I'm not sorry.
when you're talking, and you're talking to somebody who is from Lagos or somebody from Ogun State or your state, and I want to talk about good governance. You have not experienced it. So you cannot tell me what
anyways, I'm okay with it. I live all my life in Abuja, so
but you know now Abuja is different.
so I've experienced at least we can do well.
Let you know that it is one of the challenge. Our governors are not performing. Looking at the FDIs, sorry, the
FDI.
Only Lagos, Abuja, and Ekiti.
That's true.
Just
and that's shocking. Ekiti specific.
We're the only people that were able to bring in foreign direct investment in Q1 of 2024. For my own state, they say Khalifa, it just came in now. The issue of the late governor has affected the whole thing. He was just appointed, so let's give him time. I'm not mentioning the state. We lost somebody, and he said, let's give him time. But this is Q1.
Q1.
Yeah.
Now, Q2 self.
We are still on it. It's fine.
Now, to let you know that the priorities of our government, state government majorly, alright, is different.
Winning elections.
And for Nigerians now, the fact that you will pay salary regularly is even an achievement. So we try to celebrate and say, let us appreciate him. You're appreciating the master for paying your
salary.
He should pay.
And you worked for it.
You worked for it. So you are saying, let's just thank him, because somebody else would have come, I will not pay. But then you must understand that it's now different across regions. Now, what you are still fighting for here. Now, you in the Southwest might not be fighting about payment of salary anymore. We're not talking about salary.
Yeah, we don't talk
about salary because when that's even here, except for the national level agitations, you don't hear states in the Southwest talking about salary payments. But now, go to the Southeast, it's a different ballgame. That is still basic. The Abraham theory of needs. Give us, so the basic is still like, I want to still collect this 18,000 or 30,000 minimum wage. On those that have left that, the Southwest have even left that. Okay. Some states in the Northeast are still paying 18,000. And that's why the debate of the labor.
There's a rumor of a governor paying 7,000 to teachers.
Yeah, there's a rumor.
It's not a reality. I would not blame the government.
Okay.
Because, and that's why the issue of labor, and that's why I don't really support the agitation situation. They have good intention, alright, but we must also be realistic within the context of the state capacities. So, a state like, so when I see people even blaming Ogun, say, Ogun, with all the industries. Now, if you look at the IGR of Ogun State, compare it with the FAC that comes to Ogun State. Ogun State is one of the states that gets the lowest FAC. The least FAC. The state who collects the least, because the money that comes from them goes to states like
Borno State,
Sokoto,
Bayelsa.
Now, Bayelsa,
one of the highest.
Delta and Bayelsa collect one of the highest. I think Bayelsa maybe have just 8 local governments. But then there is nothing about even boast of to say. To let you know that government was designed to be closer to the people. right? So federal to state to local government. Now, local state have left the local government, they have done
LCDs, yeah.
because it's an attempt to bring government closer.
Closer.
The more we bring government closer to the people, the more the dividend of democracy spread. There are some rules that should not be the business of state government.
Yeah.
It should be domiciled with the level of the local government.
Yeah.
But now because we do not have that structure in place, everybody has passions, has everything. So if you look at this administration now, they're trying to say that they want to devolve power. So that when everybody go back to that regional system, go back to local government, if you like, go and create 55 local government as you did fit. That's what they want to even achieve anyway. So you like Delta can say I want to create 55. You know, a state like Koshun has 30.
They said that Kondo should even have up to 50.
Exactly. And Ondo is only having 18.
It's too wide. Ondo West alone is
And Ondo State is almost the 5 times of Lagos. It's almost 5 times landmass.
Yeah.
It's almost the 5 times of Lagos.
Lagos is water landmass.
So to let you know that there is much work to be done for state government. So the current challenge will have been doused a bit if our state governors mention which state governor is really doing anything about agricultural revolution. Have I mentioned
aside Niger State, Bago.
Aside from Bago,
or maybe
aside from Lagos,
Borno is currently coming.
Lagos knows that they don't have the land to plant anything.
Yeah.
But they are having industrial agricultural hubs.
Yes. Across Ekpe.
Now they are trying to partner with
They're partnering with Bago too.
With Bago and Ekiti. That you people can do the planting. That is a government that is visionary. I don't have this and this disadvantage for me. Which state has the advantage? Niger State is the largest.
Yeah. When it comes to
Benue just have a name on their head with useless productivity. Food basket of the nation, but I submit to you that even they are hungry.
They are hungry.
You cannot be the food basket of the nation and your people are still hungry. It's just like your father who sells meat and you are eating bone at home.
Well. No. Okay. Like Kogi, sorry, Alex, I'm very sorry.
No, you're free.
Kogi like Benue.
Yeah.
You know, Kogi used to have a governor that hardly pays salary but got
it's more of a sensation, all the social media governor.
I think Benue was unfortunate too. I'm sorry to rub my Benue.
No, they have been very unfortunate.
They had someone like Autumn that it's time to pay salary. Autumn will say Fulani men cutting. He ran 1 kilometer from Edmund, the whole governor. I don't know how they lie and still don't pay.
I served in Benue State. Wow. As a core member. And so I think I visited about 5 local governments.
Okay.
Alright, so and the reason was because when I'm speaking about Benue, I'll not be speaking as one who just went there and came back. Alright, so I took time to from Dhaka, from Boko to Makurdi to Bui East to Katsina, alright, to Buruku, local government. So, I have some of those stops to let you know that even the ideology of those people too made it very easy for the government to play all those kind of cards.
So are you saying that
let's
even see as a country is our ideology as a people to add to the ineffectiveness?
We choose the leader that leads us. It's our choice. We choose them. So why would somebody choose somebody who is a dancer over someone that can give you the result that you need? I don't want to mention that state. Right? So if somebody says
Joshua, let's talk about it anyways.
So to let you know that we are having a very as a people, we are not really coordinated. We are not really coordinated. We don't even really know what we want. So when the person comes on board and the person entertained you with dancing, he danced his way to the governor's house, alright, became governor. What do you expect of the dancer?
He won't do much.
He will not do much. And he will be there for 4 years.
He could even be there for 8 years.
Yeah. And because it was a reward. The big government was a compensation. So we cannot say the same thing for Ondo anyway. Alright? And it's different from Oyo State.
Oyo and Ondo are supposed to be the most politically
conscious
states.
Yeah. And that's why when I worked with Shea Makinde in Oyo State for the election in 2019, I worked with him for a while. So when I was coming back, so some of my guys that we all work together wanted to do the same approach they did for the same strategy that we did for Shea. They want to do the same thing for Jegede Ogbodobale. But the way she ballet, it was alarming. So, and when they called me and I told them, they said, Ondo State we are all Southwest State. Ondo State's philosophy of politics is entirely different from Oyo. We are very cerebral here, knowledgeable people. You don't need to use emotion to blackmail them. You don't need to. If you like, give us the best jingle.
They know what's next.
They know what's next. They know because everybody.
But from the past governors
Yes.
they've had. Now let's look holistically into Ondo State.
Yes, holistic.
Now, from the past governors they
Yeah.
had, now saying that although people actually knows what they want.
Yeah.
Now, can we really say that they know what they want, having that they have elected supposedly good leaders, but the rewards is just menial compared to the expectations people really had. I don't know if you understand what I'm
Yes,
saying.
yes. People always have expectations.
Now, let's say, let's go back to the time of Akeredolu.
Okay.
Now, we expected more in Ondo State. Like, I was in Ondo State for the period of 7 years. After my service year, I stayed back in Ondo State.
Okay.
And I witnessed Akeredolu first tenor, second tenor. Now, aside from really fighting for security and insecurity, right? I didn't really see much development. We had places in Ondo that did not experience light for 15 years. We have regions that don't even understand what it means to be developed. We have areas that could have been recreational, but yet what they do there is just fishing. In fact, Ondo State is one of the states that I consider that
The richest.
the richest are just the richest, the poorest are the poorest. In fact, government do not really get to the locals.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So if we say Ondo State understand politics and they know how to that is employ, let me use the word employ now, employ good leaders, why are the poor still, let's say, still very poor?
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now let's even go down to inflation. Ondo State's currently food inflation is about 44.5%.
One of the highest in the
You understand? And we can say yes, they are good with politics, but nothing is reflecting in the life of the average person.
Yeah.
So how do you really
So let me
convince us that Ondo are knowledgeable when it comes to electing their leaders?
So let me begin this way. Because the political philosophy of the people here is quite different. So
Okay.
we have 3 regions,
Mhm.
right? The North, Central, and the South.
Okay.
So if you want to play your political game, you must understand those regions
Okay.
and look at the one that is quite advantageous for you as a person. So if you're coming from the North, who should you pick as your ally? It's different from Ibadan or your state, right? So now I'm saying that our political approach is this side
different.
is quite different. So if somebody say, okay, I'm coming from the South here, and I need someone from the Central to be my deputy now, I need to just use to divide the voting and see if I can fight for the North and get the North votes. Now, but if you look at administrations, let me give you an instance now. The Biko administration was more centered around what?
Yeah.
Purely health. Have it?
Purely else.
Yeah.
Purely
Purely
health.
else. That's
So
what
we
we
know that there
have.
are other things, but something stood out for him was health. Alright? To let you know that, because he's a medical doctor, alright? He's a doctor as a person, right? So I know him. So he was able to venture into that major because I think at that time, there was high rate of maternal death. So we saw that what we can we do? So he brought different approaches, brought mother and child and all those things. Yeah. So that was able to go. This a bit of roots. But one thing we still stand out for you in all those days.
Now, let's spread it. Let's not just look at Ondo State itself. Let's look majorly at the polity. Now, are you saying major, because we started by talking about economic hardships.
Yes.
Are we saying totally that we can't totally blame the federal government unless our state and the local comes up to responsibilities?
Actually, very correct. Because the major challenge that we're having actually now, all right, is because of the subnationals now. The subnational government are not up and doing, right? So because they have more role. If you look at the concurrent list, they have more role to even play.
And the federal government.
Than the federal government. The federal government has little money that comes to them. The state government have more money that comes to them. They share more money at FAC every month. But the question then is, how is the money? Do we even monitor the way they even spend the money? Alright, so a government
in let's say in summary, you're saying that there is no accountability.
there is no
No
accountability.
check and balance.
There's no monitoring. So there's nobody that's really checking for what they do. When they give you come on media and say they are going to do this, do we even track
their progress.
The progress. Where have they done? What have they done? How far have they gone? Alright, so we have too many media sensationalisms that, he completed this project. Have you gone to that place to check that project? Yeah. Was it done? Was it completed? So we have too many abandoned projects too, even across the country, even across the states. But state government, I must say, and subnational government majorly, are going to be the one to drive the economy. This inflation rate will go down if state government also play their own role and not just keep going to Abuja, keep going to Lagos for commissioning of projects, alright? But that they also man their state and do something. Then people will know that, state government should be, the senators also have their own role to play, the House of Reps member, but all this necessarily, this gastronomic attempt of trying to keep sharing food will not help.
What do you think that can never even drive any economic change?
Okay.
The first thing, I think what the government should even do, actually, the issue of this border closing, let's open border.
Well, if we open borders, because I understand them, because now we are looking for both a short-term solution.
Yes, and a long-term
solution. And a long-term solution. Yes. I know Nigerians. I'm a Nigerian.
Yes.
If they open, Nigerians naturally has this tendencies to be lazy.
Yes.
In trying to produce their own thing. Everybody loves luxury.
Yes, yes.
If the borders are open, won't it cause downturn in the place of our own personal productions?
The problem we're having with the economy is the monopoly of business. Alright, so the attempt of Buhari was that I want to help local production. How has it failed? Now, tomato price jacked up before Ileya, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Alright, the basket was. So now the question, some were complaining on X that it's because of the challenge, because of the local road networks are very bad. Alright, so the price have gone down now. Have they done the old rules? No. Then the question is what made it fall? Now, to let you know that, and that's why I feel like my perspective as a person is that governments are going to play a key role to see that we make agriculture even very, very enticing enough. Alright, so we make it much more interesting for people to want to even venture into it. The Southwest region is the economic hub. Alright, but then we have arable lands in Osun State, in Oyo State, in Ondo State. Alright, that can also drive agriculture. You see a governor, a governor of Nigeria, say God bless him, that you're able to come up with 100 tractors. That's somebody that is hungry for agricultural revolution. Not somebody trying to put ribbon on 3 tractors and you want me to applaud you. You know, it doesn't make, and to that Nigerians are now we are too okay with minimum performance. So one governor just do a 2 kilometer of road and then we tie ribbon to appreciate this kind of people. 2 kilometers.
Is that not supposed to even be
just
the job of the government? I'm even wondering that we as citizens, we are applauding the state governors for paying salaries, for doing roads, for providing healthcare, something that is supposed to be literally your job.
The reason why you
understand
vote for you was because you want to solve this problem. Alright, so when you get it, if people applaud you, fine, but then the applaud now shouldn't mean that we now have to settle for those kind of things. We should leave the realm of that basic. We need to come to a place where the economy, though there are some policies that the government is trying to do now, the student loan, so they need to drive that, the credit facility kind of thing, because there are certain things. A young boy who left campus, who is a graduate after NYC, you cannot tell. Do you know how hard is it now for you to tell guys to say, go and settle down? It's as if you are telling them something that is quite negative.
Because
they know that the expense of settling down, even to set up a home, a house now, say you want to get furniture, is on the high side. So everybody wants to think about it. I even need money to even eat first, not to go and get somebody else. Alright, so we are surviving. But now somebody who is in America, in UK, alright, who is in a working system, is not praying for light. He is not praying for water. He's not praying for, so your prayer, and that's why you look at I'm of the opinion just like Plato. Plato says that religion is the opium of the masses. Alright, so it's a pain, it's just like a relief. So I can come to church on Sunday and you can give me a word of counsel from the story of Job to say, whatever you're passing through now, God got you, blah, 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 blah. No problem. Alright? But then, and that's using too many church centers. The number of churches in a kilometer, alright, I don't go there, but the number of road on a kilometer, alright, you see that we have more in just 1 kilometer, you can see 5 churches lined up. Right? To let you know that religion for us is even unexpected, is a business on its own too. But when you go to those countries, when some things are the basics are already settled, you even know the reason why you should even go to church. Now let me say that the same person that is doing gym here, let the person get to a working system like Canada. The person and all your prayer requests. Lord, I need a car. You could get it. You don't need to pray for it again. There's a country that has a 98% employment rate. That is the chance of you
Not
getting a job.
Yeah.
That you don't get the job is 2%. You don't need to pray in that kind of country.
To get it.
To get a job. It's not a prayer point again. You just have to get the
People
position.
still pray for admission in Nigeria.
Why the number of institutions that are even available cannot cater for the number of children that are being graduated. Our population to some people they say is an advantage, but to a degree, it's also a disadvantage. We have 200 plus million people. The number of
200 universities.
And we only have even the NUC quota cannot even accommodate everybody. And that's why the jam performance is just dropping year in, year out. And we're not to say, oh, let us set for 140. That if we even see someone that scored 197 and say, why will you score that? You should have scored 200. Say, don't stress me. No, even me. I try. Appreciate me. I scored 197. Somebody scored 120. Now, the person also trying to console him himself for that kind of performance. So now to drive that is quite so is a philosophy that is really affecting us across board, from business to religion to even every aspect of life. But then I know we try to blame government. But we can always know that even government can also solve your problems. And that's why we as individuals, and this is what we are doing here too. We are solving the problem by trying to also speak to ourselves. Because we want to also drive change by trying to speak to ourselves. So we can always say government. The NGOs are doing their own part here. Alright, the private sector are doing their own part here. But we also must know that somebody regulates your system. And that's what the government does. The government regulates. Alright, but government also must create an economically valuable society. That's when the medium and small scale businesses can try. The interest rate should not be high as 30%. We are being unserious. Alright, it's like you want to crash companies. No, you say okay. So they say some companies are leaving, right? But then they say some companies are coming in. So if you look at the percentages of companies that are leaving, companies that are coming, you realize that it's not commensurate. It's also even companies are trying to stay afloat, right? Some companies are trying to just survive. So it is quite a very huge challenge. Our tax rate, too many taxes here and there, even though the government is trying to harmonize some of those things. So I know very well that it's quite challenging this only because they are trying to harmonize systems. They're trying to synchronize many things that the last administration just allowed to just be there. So it's going to be challenging because many people have benefited from that system before. So trying to squeeze some of those things. For instance, when you come to a place and say, I want to introduce examination for you to be promoted, you should also know that people will most likely challenge it. You have been used to just paper assessment. You came to work early, tick. And that's what they've been using before. So when you bring that into the system of examination, they will fight it. The next one, when people that came with computer started with the issue of looking for computers to replace typewriters, typewriters fought against it. Because like, you want to take my job. So technology also, you also have people trying to challenge. So
they are already challenging.
So every possible development they are trying to fight for will always come with a counter reaction from certain quarters. So the insecurity challenge in this country, I believe strongly, very strongly, whether it is agriculture, whether it is security. If state governors want to really solve that problem, they will solve it. The Southeast sit at home every day is because the governors are not yet serious enough. The insecurity, the Boko Haram, whatever nonsense that's happening in the north also persists because the governors or the government is just aloof. The issue of blaming that government is just useless. Sure. They know what to do if you really want to solve the problem.
Okay,
Abacha said.
Now time is against us actually, but this is one last thing I want to ask. Tell us one horrible truth. I use the word horrible because sometimes people don't want to hear some uncomfortable truth. Tell us one horrible truth that people have, that is the over expectancy on this administration that we might not see.
Over expectancy.
Yeah.
Alright. Let me say.
From your opinion, actually.
From my opinion.
You've been hearing things. This person will do this. Tinubu will do that. But one horrible truth that people just need to realize that this is fact.
You just come to the reality of it.
Just understand that.
Recently.
Yes.
I just realized that we all know what we are doing.
Okay.
Now let me break it down. Whether you are the one in business, whether you are trying to blame the government, whether you're trying, whether you're social media, you're an ex-handler, you're an influencer, whether you're about you trying to advocate for something, whether you're a very dark man on the other end, whether you are Kevin or Dance on the other end, whether you're cloud chasing. So everybody, we all know what we are doing. So we are trying to always transfer that thing, blame, eh? It's always easy to transfer the blame.
Okay.
Government, even you yourself, you know. Okay, for instance, you know very well that at your place of work, you go late to work. You are trying to, even this person you are paying the salary to, you're not paying the person well. Alright? But then you say, oh, the economy is bad. So we all know what we are doing. The price is going to go down. Who inflate prices up? We are the ones. We are the one. So we all know. It's just the truth. I just realized that, like, even me that I'm tweeting, alright? I know what I'm doing. The fact that I upload something on my status and I say, oh, don't judge me based on what I upload. It's like, I know what I'm doing. Alright? So to say somebody say, let me just put this kind of video to just drive engagement. People will keep coming there just to find engagement. People will just come to the comments. What's this nonsense? Whether you put a picture or someone that was sleeping in a meeting, intentionally, you know, whether you're in the media, whether you see Rufai know what he's doing.
I tell people all the time.
So it's just an uncomfortable truth that we don't want to accept, that we all know what we are doing. So but we must accept that. Alright, that we know what we are doing. So whatever we try to blame government, try to blame everybody too individually.
Take your own
you know
peace.
That you too, you know what
you are doing.
I like this one. You know what you are doing. If you like blame government,
you know what you are doing.
Anything you are doing, you know what you are doing.
You don't want to fight insecurity. It's an activity that is the problem. We all know what we are doing. I cannot do the roads because of food announcement.
Like a government that don't pay salary for 6 years, he knows
what he is doing. Exactly. Because you don't get that money is going to his own farm.
Oh, it's going
elsewhere. We know Abacha is dead. Alright? But then the money is still coming in. The return is massive. Alright?
So the return is massive.
It's massive, baby.
We all know where we are. So someone that is wearing black every time, even when they don't invite him, he knows what he is doing.
I don't want to go there. The violence on the time now is too much. So let's not leave it at that. We all know what we are doing. And I think I like where we ended it all.
Yeah.
We all know what we are doing. And we all know the truth. The federal government cannot actually solve all this.
Absolutely.
The state governors and the local government needs to step up. And we, the people ourselves, we are the ones that set the prices most of the time because there's no price control system. We know what we are doing. Thanks so much, Kendi, for being a part of this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for at least coming clean with some of us, the states particularly. So we really appreciate that. Till we meet next time, ladies and gentlemen. This is Let's Talk About It. Thank you guys for being a part of this.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.